Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 on how to play League of Legends. Just a reminder everybody, this is for beginners. So if you're very new to League of Legends, this is what this is for. Trying to teach you the very basics of everything. Just because the game is very complicated and it's a lot to get into at once, and I feel like this is the best way to help new players. So in this video, all I'm going to be going over is summer spells, ruins, and last hits. I'll be picking a champion in this video and hopping the tutorial tool to show you guys a lot of this stuff. But first, we're going to probably go off with ruins and summer spells. Now, all I'm going to do is go over like 1 or 2 ruins, and then you guys can kind of solve the rest. It's just a lot of reading, because I don't want to go over every single ruin in the game, because, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's like 12, bro. So I'm just going to go over, and most of the times now in League, everything is recommended for you once you pick the champions. Summer spells, I will go over every summer spell because they are very important. They're all different. And obviously the same can be said that all ruins are different too, but as I'm saying, summer spells is going to be like, it makes or breaks people, and some people don't understand that you need to take certain summer spells to be useful. Almost every single champion in the game needs to take flash, but I'll get into that later. Alright, so now we're going to go look at ruins right now. I'm going to show literally actual League, so this makes so much more sense to you. So I'm just going to go over Conqueror. So you gain Adaptive Force, attacking enemies after reaching 12 stacks. So every time you hit a champion, you'll get stacks. Once you hit 12, you get more damage, and you also get a healing portion of damage you deal. So it's really good for brawlers and really good for tanks too. And then you'll get this path down here, which I call is your secondary, you know, your third, whatever. And you can get other buffs too to add to your champion. Each one of these do different things for every single one of these tabs, right? You can simply read them and kind of get the gist of it. But League always has a recommendation for these ruins. When you pick a champion select, it'll be a button. It'll be like, hey, these are the recommended ruins. You should use these ones. So it's really helpful that they did that, because now new players aren't playing Veigar with fucking Conqueror, and you're like, well, what the fuck? Because you don't want to play Conqueror with Veigar. A bunch of stuff like that. So that's your basics, right? So now we'll go over to the secondary one here. So this is, you can now pick a different rune page, but you only get to select not the top piece of it. So you wouldn't get sorcery, you wouldn't get the special from some sorcery. Like, for example, instead of picking, say if I put Domination on my left side and I put Conquer on my right here, right? So I wouldn't get the ability to have Fleet Footwork, Lethal Tempo, or Press the Attack out of these ones, right? So it's pretty simple. Like, I can show you real quick. So if I click here, right? Now I have the option for Electrocute, Predator, Dark Harvest, and Hail of Blades, right? You saw before, though, when I was on this tab, when I clicked there, I didn't get those options. So you pick whatever you want there, obviously, whatever suit the champion best. You can do research on whatever suit the champion, but honestly, it's so little that it doesn't matter sometimes. For new players, for you new guys, it's not going to matter that much. It's really not going to matter completely. As long as you're picking the right primary ruin, these ones won't matter as much. And then your secondary one over here, you get 2 options out of these. Normally, I would pick from the top and bottom. If you're support, that's usually when you're in the mid here, or assassin, because eyeball collector is really good. So like, I'll just say I'll go Taste of Blood, because I want to heal whenever I auto on a certain time when it procs, and I want Ultimate Hunter because I want my ult cooldown reduced. So I kill more people, I get that 5 maximum for how many champions in the game, right? And boom, there we go. Now you go to the third tab over here, where you're going to pick attack speed, cooldown reduction, so ability haste, and again, you get the same option, except you'll get armor and magic resist. Now, once you get better at the game, you can base these ones off the enemy champions come in. So if they have a heavy AP team, you just double magic resist up instead of taking armor, because it's pointless for you to take armor if they're a huge AP team, right? But most of the time, when you're going to be playing like Assassin, or a lot of people just take Adaptive Force, because Adaptive Force is just going to give you the damage that you do. So if you do AP damage, it goes into AP damage. Physical damage goes into physical damage. So usually it's a pretty good deal on that end. Alright, up next, we're going to go over summoner spells. Now, you unlock these at different levels when you start the game. I don't know why the hell League does this. This is possibly the stupidest thing ever. I hate it. I don't think they should do this at all. I think everyone should get all the summoner spells as soon as you start the game, but you get them at certain levels. Really dumb, so it's like making so you cannot play jungle until you are level 9. Which is not hard to get levels in this game. It's really not. It's always simple. Anyways, we're going to start off with Ghost. Literally all Ghost does is just make you move really fast. You can see Singe here. Great example. You know, you move faster. Ghost is good. It's good on champions if you want to chase people, right? Heal. This is what you take on ADCs. Your ADC should always have heal, not your support, because normally the ADC should never be getting that close to be using Ignite. It should be your support that's doing that. Barrier. I never recommend barrier, unless, I mean, maybe if you're mid lane, I could say it, but if you're support, please don't take barrier. You are hurting your lane. You need something for the offensive, unless you guys agree in pre-game lobby to play very defensive, then yes, it can be coming in play there, but I recommend that you take exhaust, heal, or ignite out of 90% of the time. Next, we're going to go over exhaust. Exhaust is a pretty simple spell. All you do is you slow enemies champions and you reduce their damage they deal by like 35%. It says right there 35%. And it's really good on certain supports like Leona here, for example. Literally, your whole point is to stick on somebody and get them fucking fucked up. And it's great on champions. Like if you see a Draven, see a Lucian, maybe even Jhin. I don't know, maybe Jhin. Exhaust, hell of a drug. Slap that on the ADC when he's about to engage and he's trying to drop all that damage. He's going to be really mad when he does nothing at all. We're going to go to clarity here. I mean, you can take it, I guess. It's only for ARAM. So this you cannot get in normal Summer's Rift. Same with Mark, which is Snowball. Flash. Oh my god. Let me tell you right now. You need this spell. You don't start with this when you start the game, unfortunately, which is dumb, but you need this damn spell. It is literally make or break the game. You have to have Flash on every champion. Only Shaco and I think Carthage. Carthage? What the fuck? That's not his name. I'll just put a ghost picture of him here because I messed up his name and I butchered it. I'm not fixing it at this point. Flash is necessary. You need it. If you don't have this, you are losing the game. Flash is necessary. You dodge skill shots. It is go and engage, short distance. This represents it terribly, by the way. It's like, oh, check out me. I could dash over this little gap. No, you can dash way farther than that, bro. You can cheese it and dash over massive angles. Teleport. This used to be an amazing summoner spell. You used to be able to teleport on minions across the map and cool things like that early game. Now you have to wait 15 minutes for it to get to that point where you can teleport on minions or wards. At the start of the game, literally only towers, which makes the roaming for this terrible. Teleport is not good anymore. Cleanse. If you see the enemy team having a lot of CC, cleanse, hell of a drug. Will literally stop you from getting CC'd. It's really good on ADCs. I think ADCs are the ones that really take it. And then we're going to come in with Ignite. Ignite is a good, does true damage on enemies, and it also takes away healing. So you give them healing cuts, which reduces the amount of HP they heal when, obviously, healing. But, like, pretty self-explanatory, I guess. And then Smite, last but not least, Smite is used in the jungle. See how it's used here with the Moo, how he's smiting the buff before it's ready to kill. Never do that because you always want to learn to time it exactly when it's at the HP because you're going to need that later in the future when you're smiting Dragon and you're smiting Baron and Herald. Like, you can smite whenever, it's fine, but don't ever smite your first buff. This is not even about this video at this point. This is just a good clear for my junglers who are going to learn how to play jungle. Do not smite your first buff ever. Stupid idea. Smite the second buff. So don't smite your first camp. Always go with your raptors or the next camp after you smite. And that covers all the summoner spells. Now I'll be heading into the actual game to just give you a brief, like, go over everything. And then I'm going to show you simple last hits. And then I believe that will be all for today's video. So we're going to head over to Aatrox here. As I've said before, great champion. This is the key right here. This is the button you can push to get recommended runes. I'm not sure if this is unlocked early game or not when as soon as you start the game, but I'm pretty sure it is. And we'll just go with the pre-select one that's there already. Great for Aatrox right off the bat. So we could look more into depth of the ruins here if we want. Specifically what we want here. We know we got Conqueror, we know we got Triumph, you know, all these cool things. We got our Adaptive Force, our armor. I would probably take HP, but that's just personal preference, to be honest. And then we have our Flash, and we have our Teleport, which I would probably not take Teleport, but it really doesn't matter. And we'll lock in our champion, and usually when you lock in the champion, you know, you wait for everyone else to go. Pick the best skin. So normally when you load into the game, you won't see all these options over here. This is just for the practice tool only. When you start the game, you'll always spawn at your blue or red side. So, you know, as I said before in the first video. And now we can go to the item shop by clicking here or hitting the P button. I usually hit the P button. The game will always suggest you what to pick first. So, Doran's Blade is if offensive, Doran's Shield is if defensive. But, you know, sometimes it matters. But I say Doran's Blade is cracked right now, so I always get it. And then it will recommend items. Now, I want to make a video going about items, but that's going to be a different video because I can click here and look at all the items in the game. This is just, there's just so many to go over. But it's pretty basic. Go over the fighter tab because we're playing a fighter and basically buy the items from here. I'll go over what mythic, legendaries, and, you know, all the epics are in a different video, but for now we're just going to show you last things and stupid things like that. So when you start the game off, you get level 1 guaranteed, and you can pick one of the abilities. Usually the game, as you saw, it kind of like show like a glowing tier here to recommend thing, and you couldn't click it right there, or you can click the button, whatever hotkey it is. And at the start of the game, you should always be in lane before this happens, but that's okay, we're just showing you. I'm just going to walk the lane. I could teleport with a thing. As you can see, mid will get the wave first before anyone else, as top and bot don't. And last hitting is pretty simple. The guy will be low HP, and you hit him for the gold. So this guy right here, he'll die, and we won't get anything. We'll only get XP if they die. You want money. Money, you want to be a rich man. You want to be a very rich man. Oh my godness, I don't know why I was teleporting there. And so I'm just going to show you some really basic stuff. We're just going to stand here, and you're just going to watch as I'm just going to last hit minions. That's all we're going to do here. It's going to be really boring, but this is really necessary because you need to learn how to last hit. It's a very important thing in this game to learn how to last hit. Now, normally there's an enemy laner who's going to hit you, harass you, be annoying. Sorry, Aatrox had to say some stuff. You know how it is. And you're just going to last it. All you're going to do... This guy right here, very important. That's called the cannon. He gives the most juice, the most money man mert stuff. You're going to want him because... he is going to give you 60 gold guaranteed, I'm pretty sure, or something crazy like that. Yeah, it's a lot of gold and you really want it. And you're slowly always going to level up your abilities in lane. And you can also use your abilities. Oh, I just totally blew that last hit. You can also, I can use my Q too. Like if I'm like, oh, I want to last with my Q, you can use that too. Aatrox has 3 Qs, so you can last hit with those. You don't always have to auto get last hit. You can use abilities and stuff like that too. Like, it's pretty simple stuff. And there you go. See, that's last hitting. As it looks easy. It does look easy. But it's going to change. Now, naturally, you're going to want to push with a tower. I will tell you in another video when we go in advanced on positioning and wave management and where you should be standing in a wave. Where I'm standing right now, if I was in a game, I'm throwing. This is how you get ganked 101. And this is all your fault for staying this far. I don't ever... It's whatever. It's whatever. But that's pretty much the video. I covered summer spells. I covered ruins. And I'm covering last hits. And it's pretty simple. This is self-explanatory. Last hits, all you do is you walk over and you hit them when they're low HP. That's it. And it gives you gold. And gold gives you money to buy items. You know? You kind of get where I'm coming from here. Other than that, boys, that is today's video. I leave a comment, as I said before, if you want anything specific, and I can go into more advanced things, obviously. People have already recommended, like, asked for Jhin, Yasuo, even though you gotta be actually crazy to want to play him, and all sorts of things like that. So I'll make videos for them, and each video will have its basics. So I'll go over the basic part of them, like how to play them at the beginner level, and then intermediate, and then higher level play, so you can understand how to play the champions more. Other than that, guys, that is today's video. I will see you in the next one. Adios, boys.